Tonight you've accepted award on behalf of your late brother, Gord, for Adult Alternative Album of the Year and Songwriter of the Year. So congratulations to him on his honor. I know that you guys spoke quite a bit when you've been up on stage. Unfortunately, when we're in here, we don't always get to hear everything that's said. So if I'm repeating any questions that you've already answered, forgive me. What did this album mean for Gord?
Well, it maybe there was a little setup that Mike had given in the acceptance speech, but when the prognosis came down for Gord, he had already, we were sort of in the process of maybe getting ready for this, and then when the final prognosis came down, he really, that was his one priority, was to really communicate his love and gratitude to the most important people in his world, and really songwriting was his vehicle. That's how he knew how he could communicate that, and so he just went to work. So this record was really, he was not going to leave this world until he had sort of spoken his language.
David.
Hey, Dave.
Since this was Gord's final album, there's a bit. I was thinking there might have been a bit of closure in tonight, and maybe not closure, but in a sense, there might be some meaning in tonight. And I'm wondering if you guys can talk about that in particular, and what you're thinking as we're here.
Well, actually, sorry. I mean, you might think closure, all of these things are kind of nice tributes and ways of sort of providing a meaning and acknowledging Gord's career. But in many ways, we really actually think it's kind of the opening of something. There's a lot more of Gord's art and music and his dreams and his wishes for the world that we want to keep alive. And Introduce Yourself was a sort of a collection of love letters that Gord basically wrote for all these people, and that wasn't the end. That wasn't the last record Gord did. He did a lot of music in his final time, and really that's including everything else. That's really what we would like to kind of keep going and keep celebrating.
Well, yeah, I that's beautifully put, Pat. And I think how Gord spent his last 2 years was doing what he was best at, and that was writing songs and thinking about a country that would be different and more inclusive and more caring, and would have people we've been trained to ignore, which is what he said from the stage in Kingston on August 20th, and to do what he could to encourage Canadians to think about their country differently. But Gord never stopped working. He's 2 operations, chemo. He never stopped. He never stopped working. His work ethic was unbelievable. And it was, really, I think in the last 2 years, he somehow had this idea of what he wanted to accomplish, and he just went right down the list. And this was part of it. This album was a really big part of it, as Patrick said. I don't. Gord made a lot of
really.
notes,
It started with this, and that's what I was trying to sort of say from the stage, is that it became the sort of therapy or whatever you would call it, to coping with the what it was in front of him. And Introduce Yourself was his automatic reaction, his instinct to go and do this. And like I said, he wasn't going to leave this world before he communicated his love and gratitude to the most important people. And it's what sort of he realized, like, wow, this is basically how I, this is how I get through my life, is by songwriting and making sense of my world and the world around me through songs. And that's sort of what allowed him, that he sort of got the ball rolling. And he did a lot of songwriting in those last couple of years.
Rudy?
Thank you. Guys, so I'm just trying to make sure I have it clear. Is there a chance there's going to be more albums coming out from the music that he was writing before he passed?
Yeah, there's a lot of material that he was doing all along. There's a lot of material he created after, he found out he was going to die. And there's just a lot of archival material. There's just a lot of Gord to keep going, and that's really that's kind of what we're here to do, to keep promoting this artist that left a lot behind. And for fans or for anybody, I think people should be pretty excited, because it's a lot of stuff still to come.
I'm not sure there's anything I can say that you guys haven't already heard, but I think it goes without saying that everybody in Canada was deeply moved by your brother's passing, and thank you for carrying on his message and for continuing to bring his music and whatever he's left to carry on for more generations and for the fans that are here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.